confirmation of famine was horrifying, of course, for us. But it was not unexpected, and it was certainly very predictable, because this is exactly what we have warned about for all of these months. This is exactly what we have alerted the world on a daily basis, that there was a severe crisis developing, and that unless the situation changed, then we would see the worst case scenario in front of our eyes developing. And this is exactly where we've arrived. And it is a failure of humanity. And I think we failed Gaza and the people of Gaza much prior to this, much earlier. What we have always said is that once famine is confirmed, it is already too late. And unfortunately, we are now in a situation that is too late for many, many people. Over 300 deaths have now been reported from starvation. It is clearly too late for these people, and probably many more.
Vemos esta clasificación integrada de la seguridad alimentaria, lo clasifican ustedes en fases. ¿Cómo llegan a estas conclusiones? ¿A partir de qué información obtenida? ¿De qué manera logra las Naciones Unidas poder decir categóricamente que esto es una hambruna?
So for famine to be confirmed, there have to be certain thresholds that have to be crossed or reached in order for this to happen. So this has now happened. These thresholds include things like severe deprivation of food. They also include malnutrition rates among children. And the third thing that it includes is the number of deaths of people who starve to death. So we have now seen all of these three thresholds having been reached. And of course, this means that we have reached a very, very dangerous stage in this crisis, because from this point on, as I've mentioned, unless it changes urgently, it will accelerate even faster than it has been going. And so it will endanger many more lives, and we will see many preventable deaths happen again. And I will emphasize once again that this entire crisis is entirely man-made and could have been prevented when we asked for it to for the world to pay attention to it long ago, months ago.
Dijeron hace unos días ustedes que la ayuda existe, que la comida y la asistencia está a unos metros de donde la gente está muriendo de hambre. ¿Cómo es el mapa de las cosas?
That's exactly that. We have been saying for all of these months that we are ready. We are ready to deliver at scale. We have everything paid for. We have everything basically just outside of Gaza, waiting to be loaded and to start coming. But the amount that is entering now, still to this day, after all the alarms, after everything that we have said, and all the alerts that we have issued, is still not enough to even scratch the surface, because we have a population that has been enduring almost 2 years of war now. And in this 2 years of strikes, of displacement, of killings, injuries, of every system that supports life being destroyed over and over. And we have now reached a stage that the entire population of Gaza is in need, immense need of humanitarian aid. So to address this, we need massive amounts of not only humanitarian aid, but also the private sector to supplement what people need to feed themselves and to survive. We need unfettered access for us to be able to have no impediments that we continue to face to deliver the aid using our mechanisms that ensure that this aid reaches those who are the most vulnerable. And that is what we need to see. We were able to do this during these weeks of the ceasefire, and we can do it now. We can do it again. We have done this many, many times before around the world. All we need is for all the corridors to be utilized, for all the crossings to be open, and again, for us to be able to have the conditions on the ground to deliver it safely, rapidly, and at scale.
Olga, desde luego uno piensa en los ancianos, en las mujeres, en los hombres, pero principalmente uno piensa en niños y niñas y en los más vulnerables. ¿Cómo lo está viendo la ONU?
You know, this is exactly what worries me the most is the fact that the most vulnerable are, of course, going to be the most affected by this. And if we look, for example, at children, and I have been going for the past couple of weeks to the hospitals, both in southern and northern Gaza. And I can tell you that every malnutrition ward in every hospital that I've visited is over capacity. And each time I come, there are more and more patients. And tragically, sometimes, some days when I come, the patient that was there the day before is no longer there because they have passed away. And this is the reality for the children. This is the reality for the mothers who are not able to produce milk, who do not have the nutrients to take care of their babies when they're born, before they're born. And of course, in childhood, this affects children in a very specific way, that the damage that it does to children sometimes is irreversible. And that is what, again, we have said multiple times, and we have shouted from every rooftop, and every alarm and every warning we have given has fallen on deaf ears.
Olga, estamos observando también situaciones que tienen que ver con la muerte de personas que buscan comida. Hemos visto información sobre jóvenes que van a lugares en donde se considera pueden conseguir comida, pero son atacados y también mueren en algo que nos estremece. Gente que muere buscando ayuda. ¿Qué me dice eso? ¿Qué está viendo la ONU ahí?
Yes, that's exactly right. There are mass casualty incidents almost daily that the hospitals in Gaza receive from either people who go to find food at militarized distribution sites, or aid seekers who are waiting along the routes of UN convoys. This is absolutely appalling. The situation, that the fact that people are being killed and injured simply for trying to find food, simply for trying to prevent their children from starving in front of their eyes, is unconscionable. And I will speak again about the hospitals that I was visiting that I mentioned earlier. In these hospitals, when I go, the malnourished patients are not only children, they are every age imaginable. And they start at, of course, newborns. And I've spoken to children, to teenagers, actually, who are not in the malnutrition ward, but they are severely malnourished. And they came there through these mass casualty incidents. So they had been shot at these sites, at these locations, while being severely malnourished. And of course, this the fact that they are starving, on top of the fact that they are shot, and they're entering with these explosive injuries, with gunshot wounds, it makes them heal extremely slowly. Some of them don't heal, and it just makes the deterioration so much worse, and so much worse and more severe. And I have seen countless teenagers and countless adults who have gone, who were trying to find food, and instead they received a bullet in their bodies.